I'm Maggie from FIRST EVER Eats, and I'm in Ho Chi Minh City, the food capital of Vietnam. The heart and soul of Saigon is the street food, and in Saigon, great street food is everywhere. So what should you eat? Where should you eat it? Here's my top 10. First up, vermicelli rice noodles with pork. Various forms of these noodle bowls have found their way overseas, but there's nothing like the real thing. In Vietnam, they're called Bun Ton, and they come topped with marinated grilled pork, a crispy spring roll, fresh lettuce, and herbs. You douse it generously with nok chum, the sweet savoury sauce that makes an appearance alongside virtually every dish in Vietnam. Mix it all up, then dig in. Bun Ton Chi Minh is one of the most well-known places in Saigon, and they've been serving these noodle bowls for over 40 years. Business here is swift and furious, especially on the takeaway side. Crowds of delivery drivers hover, waiting to pick up orders. There's even a guy grilling full-time on the street, barbecuing mountains of pork that gets whizzed back to the restaurant by motorbike to keep orders flowing. I'm a huge fan of noodle bowls in all forms, and these ones are extreme noodle deliciousness that should not be missed. Another must-try is broken rice, Comte. It's a breakfast plate with rice that's literally small broken grains of rice topped with pork and other toppings. Comte Ba Gien is one of the city's most famous broken rice restaurants. Mighty pork loin steaks are marinated, then barbecued to order over smouldering coals. It's served over fluffy broken rice cooked over charcoal, with pickled vegetables and a prawn or pork cake on the side. It also comes with a side of what looks like noodles, but is actually pig skin. Make sure to order a fried egg on top. The yolk oozes like a sauce and elevates this epic dish from incredible to can't stop eating it good. I truly believe that Vietnam makes some of the greatest soup broths in the world, and this spicy beef lemongrass soup is another one that you should definitely hunt down. It's called Bun Bo Hue, and it's a noodle soup with a rich beef broth infused with lemongrass, shrimp, and a good slosh of fiery chili oil. It tastes like pho on steroids. It's got a stronger flavour, and boy is it spicy. This place, Dong Ba, is a local favourite that's been around since the 1920s and turns up on many best of Saigon lists. The friendly staff bustle around the kitchen, stirring huge cauldrons of the spicy broth and ladling soup over soft rice noodles. It's topped with tender slices of beef, fresh herbs, and a good sprinkle of pepper. Then you help yourself to toppings, more herbs, a drizzle of lime, and more chili if you dare. I dared and I suffered. This place might look like it needs a good spring clean, but you need to look past that because this is one of the best bowls of soup you will ever have. This next place I want to show you isn't a dish, it's a food experience area that's well worth a visit. It's an area called Nguyen Twin Tuot Apartments. Someone affectionately dubbed it Street Food Ghetto, and now we do too because it's easier to pronounce. It's a local area and it's pumping. I'm in my element here. This is what I love about travelling. Seeing the real local areas, getting away from the tourist traps. As you stroll down the winding alleys, you'll see crowds of locals going about their daily routine and vendors serving up all sorts of tasty foods. Crispy rice pancakes grilled over charcoal and filled with shrimp, egg, and slathered with butter. There's giant oysters, noodles, fresh soft rice paper rolls filled with beef, stir-fried fresh corn, and when you see how much butter she uses to fry it up, you know it's going to be tasty. But my favourite food here are sea snails. Yes, snails. They taste like mussels, and in Saigon, snail stores are the equivalent of pubs back at home. Locals gather with family and friends, sitting on tiny plastic stools on the side of the road, drinking ice-cold beers and ordering plate after plate of snails. Our favourite snail joint is this one, called Ok An. The snails are displayed out the front of the store so you can see what looks good and fresh. You choose your snail and how you want it cooked, then they cook it up to order. tossing snails over fiery hot heat with incredible sauces, braising them in rich coconut curries. There's a whole menu of ways to prepare these snails, and every single one I've tried has been amazing. Here are a couple of my favourites. Mud crawlers in an addictive coconut sauce, and snails in an incredible garlic butter sauce. Snails are an unexpected highlight of food in Ho Chi Minh City, and there was never any doubt that it was going to make my top 10. And now I'm going to show you what I think is the best pho in Ho Chi Minh City. It's a place called Pho Tao Bay, and it's a huge favourite with locals. You won't see any tourists here, and that's just how I like it. The tangle of slippery rice noodles are silken yet chewy, and it's topped with tender slices of beef brisket and the signature raw beef slices that are cooked until pink when the hot broth is poured over it. I love coming here for the breakfast rush, watching the locals go about their day and the staff serving up bowl after bowl of piping hot pho. And even though it's 35 degrees and incredibly humid, this is still the best bowl of pho I've ever had in my entire life. Here's one of the best new things you'll try in Vietnam, bololot. It's made with seasoned beef mince that's wrapped in wild betel leaves then barbecued on a charcoal grill. They look like little green cigars, and they can be eaten just like that, or in a DIY meal setup where it's served alongside rice paper, lettuce, noodles, herbs, and pickled vegetables. Bundle it all up, dip it in sauce, and devour. You won't find it in District 1, you'll need to get out to the local areas. Restaurant Ko Liang in District 3 is one of the best known bololot restaurants in Saigon. A family-owned establishment that's highly rated by locals, they're known for their incredibly juicy bololot flavoured with a secret spice blend. I guarantee you will not be able to stop at one because they are that good. Next up, crab noodle soup, Bun Ryu. This is really popular in Saigon. You'll see more street vendors selling crab noodle soup than you will pho. This place I'm at is called Bun Ryu Gan. The broth this place makes is really special because it's made from pounded crab shells and meat. It's savoury, aromatic, and faintly sweet. The soup comes with a tangle of perfectly cooked rice noodles and a variety of toppings. A juicy crab pork meatball, poached tomato, and fried tofu that soaks up the delicious broth. Crab noodle soup isn't as well known as pho, but it's one of my personal favourites because the soup broth is so incredible and you literally cannot get anything like it outside of Vietnam. So get your fill while you're here. Next on my list is the Bun Ton markets. It's the most well-known market in Saigon, and here you'll find everything from fresh produce to souvenirs, as well as plenty of food and drink. Here are some of our favourites. Rice paper rolls stuffed with fresh prawns, rice noodles and herbs, dipped in a sweet peanutty dipping sauce. Grilled shrimp on sugarcane skewers, made with prawn paste grilled around sugarcane, then steamed and grilled. And my personal favourite, bun bao. I affectionately call them UFOs, owing to the saucer-like shape of these steamed rice cakes. The whole plate is scattered with a kind of dried shrimp floss, fried pork crackling, scallion oil, and sprigs of coriander. Then everything is liberally doused with sweet nok chum. Dig in with your spoon, making sure you get a bit of everything. It's the kaleidoscope of textures and flavours that makes bun bao so magical, and why this little marvel is on my must-try list. Crab is a must-try when you're in Vietnam, and this place, 94 Tui restaurant, is the place to go in Ho Chi Minh City. It's a long-standing hit with locals and foodies and gets packed at peak times. What makes this particular place so special are the soft-shell crab dishes, which are made with live crab. Crabs are coated in batter and then deep-fried until golden and crispy. It's incredible how the crackly coating is delicate and light, and even though it's fried, it's not greasy at all. And the inside is insanely juicy. Crab vermicelli noodles is the other crowd favourite here. Cellophane noodles are tossed in a wok over fierce flames with a Vietnamese stir-fry sauce and enormous chunks of sweet crab meat. I've never seen so much crab in a stir-fried noodle dish before, and I love it. Another dish not to be missed is crab spring rolls. Rice paper stuffed with a juicy crab filling and then deep fried until crispy and blistered. They're utterly addictive and I can't get enough of them. These are just a few of the great crab dishes on offer here, so make sure you come with friends so you can try loads. And lastly, banh mi. It needs no introduction and there are vendors literally everywhere. But what might surprise you is that it's actually harder than you'd think to find really great ones in Saigon. We tried all the places that make must-try lists, and while some were pretty good, none wowed us. Then we discovered this place, Banh Mi Sao Lei, a small obscure shop set on a busy street way out in District 10. An area rarely visited by tourists. This is a hidden gem only locals know about. We were led here by our food interpreter, David from the Street Food Man, and one bite is all it took to know immediately. This is the perfect banh mi. The perfect baguette, delicately crusty, light as air on the inside. The generous smear of pate on the bun and on the meat. The way the meat is chopped so it falls apart in your mouth rather than trying to tear it with your teeth. The perfectly pickled carrot and radish, the perfect amount of coriander. Everything is 100% right. I won't kid you, it's a long way to travel for a sandwich. But if you want to try what we think is hands down the best banh mi in Saigon, make the trip out here to Banh Mi Sao Lei. I promise it's worth it. What I've shown you is just a small sample of the amazing food this country has to offer. In fact, the food here is so good, I tell people it's worth visiting Vietnam just for the food. And it's certainly the reason why I keep coming back. If you don't have the opportunity to visit, you can still get a taste of Vietnam at home using my recipes. From pho to rice paper rolls, Vietnamese noodle bowls to lemongrass marinades, visit www.recipetineats.com.